I'm not gonna lie, yeah. I feel kind of sorry for these two. I do. I do. Let me land. Hear me out. The reason I feel sorry for them, yeah, is not because they're getting all of this backlash and woe is them, poor guys. Nice. It's not that. My thing is like, what did you lot expect? Have you guys watched their podcast? Have you watched their clips? I mean that in the least disrespectful way. They have done amazing things. Let's not get it twisted. But when you watch their content and you realize what they're on, in that moment, I'm sorry guys, they're not going to turn into a Carla. They're not going to turn into Dr. Umar Johnson. Their response is actually very, very on brand. People expected them to like stand up and say, we are, the fighters of black women's right and blah, 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 and you shall not, blah. No. It made them, you could see it made them feel a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah, and that's what Andrew Schultz does. He's that kind of comedian. He tries to make you feel uncomfortable and he makes uncomfortable jokes. So if they knew they were going to be put in that position, they probably shouldn't have gone on there. And once he made the joke, they just kind of just laughed and tried to move on. Now, I'm sorry, but if you've watched anything that these guys have done, and I'm not saying I've watched, I'm a massive fan of their content because quite frankly, I'm not. It's not my type of content. But from what I have seen of them, you can tell they're non-confrontational guys. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think them making an apology was in the right spirit. I just don't necessarily think they needed to do it. I think they look at the response that they got, because they're not going to lose all their fans. It's impossible. It's not going to happen, right? Look at the response, lose a couple thousand fans, which is, I'm not saying, for me, that's everyone. For me and you, that's everyone. But for them, that's, okay, we'll get that back tomorrow, right? Look at it, say, okay, this is how we can be better. Let's make sure that, if we go on future podcasts, it's in line with what we're doing and our fan base. And then just try to learn from it. But don't, by apologizing, it's like you're admitting guilt. And I don't think they did anything wrong. Could they have said something? Could they have, said, okay, this is making me feel, but of course they could have spoken about how they felt. But they didn't. And I believe them when they say in that moment they felt a little bit stuck. You know what I mean? So it's like, they're not bad guys. They don't hate black women. They are who they are. So it's like now everyone's going, oh, but actually, you know what? Their content's a little bit funny, and like what? As if they've changed who they are all of a sudden. No, come on, guys, come on.